Hello, welcome back to Cinderella Math. Today I'll just be doing one problem, so I'll call this a little quick bite here. I'm going to be solving a system of equations with the elimination method or process when the initial problem was not given in standard form. So this is a little tricky because we have to kind of fix the problem before we can do the problem. If you're looking for more practice with systems with elimination, I don't have a video for that as of this filming. Right now it's late August 2025. By September 1st, 2025, I will make a longer video because this is a great topic and it's actually one of my favorites. And I'll put it on my Algebra 1 and my Algebra 2 playlist. So that's coming. And if it's after September 1st, 2025, it should be there. Okay, but for today, we're just going to do one single problem in case you just need to see one example and then you're good. The initial problem here that was given is 3y minus 4x equals 2 and 6 plus y equals 2x. So they are both linear. So again, they would make lines if we were to graph them, which we're not. Well, I might use a graphing calculator here in a second, but for now, we're going to solve this by hand. So they are linear equations. And usually with linear equations, we can have two forms. Now there are more than this, but these are the two most popular and most useful is slope-intercept, which is y equals mx plus b. And then there's standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And standard is the one we want to use when we're solving systems by the elimination method. So these are not quite right. They need to look like this. Something x plus or minus something y equals a constant, where this a and this b are numbers. And again, this can be plus or minus, either way. Okay, so we are going to fix these. Let's look at the red one. And again, let me just write over here. Our goal is to get it to look like this. Something x plus or minus something y is a constant. Okay, well, the red one, we just need to put the x here and the y here. We are allowed to flip-flop that. So this is now going to be on the red one, negative 4x, because the negative belongs with the 4. That 3y is positive, and it equals the constant 2. So we really just did a little flip-flop there. The blue one is in more trouble. Look at the blue one. This 2x, well, yeah, let's bring it over here. It's positive 2x, so to move it to the other side of the equal, draw a line if you need to, we're going to minus 2x, which will cancel here, and we'll have to do minus 2x here to keep the balance. And now we need to equal the constant. Well, 6 is the constant. That's a positive 6, so to get it over here, across the equal, we'll have to do its opposite. Minus 6, get off of there, and minus 6 over here. So that gives us negative 2x plus y, so the y is the only one that stayed, equals negative 6. Okay. Now, they are in, quote, standard form, which is what we want. Not quote, it actually is standard form. Proper form, if you will. Now, that goal has been met. We are ready to actually do this problem. Second goal with elimination, once you have it lined up like this, perfectly lined up in columns with your x's, your y's, your equals, and then your constant, is to try to eliminate something. So that's why this is called elimination. And you're either going to pick the x's or the y's. It does not matter. I'm going to pick the y's. And I know there's an invisible 1 on this bottom y. And I'm going to multiply this by 3. You want them to be the same. So since this one is a 3, I'm going to multiply this whole bottom equation by 3. Okay, so I'm going to leave the red one alone. And I'm going to distribute the 3 through the blue. So this would be negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 18. And the reason we do that is now the y's match and we can eliminate. So you either use addition or subtraction to eliminate. Off to the side, 3y plus 3y, well, that would be 6y. That wouldn't cancel. How about 3y subtract 3y? That would cancel. That's the one we want. We want subtract. Put this whole one in parentheses just to be careful. Subtract straight down. Okay, so we have negative 4x, subtract negative 6x, put that in parentheses since they're buddies, plus 3y minus 3y, again parentheses because they're buddies, equals 2 subtract negative 18. All right, the y should cancel. 3 minus 3, bye-bye. He's gone. You don't need to put 0y. The x's, we know subtracting a negative is the same as adding. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2x. This is all canceled. And over on the constant, subtracting a negative is adding, so that would be 20. Dividing by 2, and x is 10. This step right here in the pink, if you don't need to write that, feel free to skip that and just do that all mental math. That is fine. But I just wrote it out to be thorough. X is 10. Now be very careful. I have a lot of students, they'll get there and they'll circle that and they think they're done. You're not done. Because this is 2 lines, right? So if we were to graph this, they meet at a point. So a point has an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So we need an x answer and a y answer. So this is halfway there, and this is the harder half. To get the y answer now, just plug this 10 back into either original. So I'm going to go back to that very original, either the red one or the blue one. Now the blue one's up. It looks easier to me. So I'm going to do this very original blue one before the stuff moved. I'll write it out again. I'm going to do this one. 6 plus y equals 2x. But wait, we just found x is 10. 6 plus y is 2 times 10. 6 plus y is 20 minus 6. Y is 14. Circle. And now usually we want to write the final answer as a point. A point always comes as x comma y. So our final answer is 10 comma 14. That is where these 2 linear equations would meet, would intersect. That is the solution to this system. So yeah, that's a mess. Go nice and slow. Watch your signs. People will goof the minus, so be careful there. And yeah, so that is how you solve a system of equations using the elimination method when the original problem was not in standard form. So it's kind of 2 problems in one. We had to fix the problem, then solve. If you are allowed, so teacher, professor, parent, if you're homeschooled, if you're allowed to use a graphing calculator, I'm going to pull up Desmos. You do not have to put it in standard form. So if you're allowed to do this, you can just type it as given. So our first one was given as 3y minus 4x equals 2. There it is. Click down a line. And the second one was given 6 plus y equals 2x. Zoom out if you need to. Boom. Answer. If this is SAT practice that you're watching this video for, do this. Do not do it by hand on SAT. You'll waste a lot of time. Do this. I want you to know how to do it by hand, but not on the SAT. Go to this. All right. I hope this was helpful. And again, I will make a longer form video in the coming days for this. All right. See you again soon. Bye-bye.